It's strange to say, it's beyond 5 o'clock and I think it's getting warmer. As the sun is lowering itself ever so slightly in the sky from its midday high, it's certainly starting to get warmer in the commentary box. The sun now starting to come through the window rather than sit above us on the roof here. Hopefully it keeps shining all the way to the end of the day. I can't see any reason why it wouldn't do. We can't see anything other than blue skies for much of the distance around this Ellough Park circuit. Closed mainly by a grass bank of around 10 foot high around all of it. We're raised up here in the commentary box. You can see us in the background there above in the what looks like an air traffic control tower. That's our commentary box up the top there. We might have a rider missing actually on this one. We've got a berth available for a rider in P8. One of them in the back is struggling to get going on these MG Mini bikes. Varying type of frame, it's a 4-stroke engine. We are about to go racing though. Red light is on. Red light is off. We're away and racing then here in the OMG Racing Mini 190 class. We are 4 wide then, of course, down into the first corner, the heavy braking zone. Everybody's made their way round with the exception of one rider. We've got one off on the back. On the rider though is up and walking back towards his machine, although not walking there in any sort of haste. Looks like he might pick that one up, but he's going to head that bike off into retirement. Rider though is up and okay, which is pleasing to see. We will try and find out who that is when they come over the timing screens, just to give some people some reassurance. But the rider is up and okay and heading towards the marshal's post down there on the outside of Degner 1. The rest of the pack though is already round on this 8-lap final, heading towards the Alan Wones hairpin for the first time. One of the riders goes a bit wide round there. Over the line then for the first time, Ash Barnes leads the way. From Rhys Stevenson, Mason Foster, Sullivan Mounsick, Samuel Munson, Clayton Edwards, Charlie Hungerford, Philip Soriak, Tom Lewis, Kobe Perry, the top 10. The rider who hasn't made it round the 60 of Peter Hickman. That bike in a cloud of dust, now stationary on the outside of the opening corner. Hickman stood next to the marshal having a chat on the outside of Degner 1. The rest of the 19 runners then making their way round this Ellough Park circuit here in Suffolk. Leader in the junior class, third overall, is Mason Foster, holding off Sullivan Mounsey and Philip Soriak, the 3 runners at the top of that junior class. Just as many juniors as we've got seniors here then in this MiniGP 190. And Ash Barnes is 1.2 seconds away down the road from everybody else on the opening lap. Rhys Stevenson once again making an appearance. As we mentioned earlier, there's not many races that he is actually in here in the British Mini Bikes Championship. He is in second place, holding off 2 junior runners behind him of Mason Foster and Sullivan Mounsey. Those 2 riders closing in, and Stevenson having to go defensive already into Barney's, holding off the 2 junior runners in their own sub-championship. As Foster tries to make a move down the inside, Stevenson runs all the way around the outside and chops across the bow of his junior competitors. We're already then 3 laps in. Beautiful bike actually of Mason Foster. Probably one of the nicest I've seen here all day. The number 88 running in 3rd place. Currently on course to take the top step in juniors. If this was an amalgamated race, it would take in 3rd place as well overall on the senior podium. As it stands, 3rd place in that class at the moment, the 146 of Clayton Edwards. 3rd in the juniors, still Philip Soriak down in 8th place. He's under pressure as well from Kobe Perry, who we saw in the last race. Maybe that's why all the bikes were at the back, because one ride they just jumped straight off one, straight off the other, and then back out again here at the British Mini Bikes. Heading then down towards the opening corner of the lap down at Degner 1. Stevenson has already moved off into the distance, opening the gap up lap by around about 4 or 5 tenths of a second, and leaving those behind him to battle it out over second place. Stevenson Foster and Mounsey, albeit Stevenson heading for second place on the outright podium in seniors. Foster, as it stands, heading for the top step in juniors, holding off Mounsey. Make their way round the Alan Wones hairpin. And at the moment, doesn't look like Mounsey is trying too hard to get past Foster in front. Behind them, though, Samuel Munson has stepped up into third place in the senior class at the expense of Clayton Edwards. That'll be the battle just behind this one. See them in the background, and that looks like it could be 4 or 5 bikes strong for the final step on that podium between Munson, Edwards, Huntingford as well, all vying for the final step. And on the back of that is Soriak, who is starting now to pull away from Kobe Perry for the final step on the junior podium. All he has to do, aboard that number 75, is stick with this battle, although he is trying to get himself involved in with the seniors as well. Down the inside of Huntingford into the Alan Wones hairpin and up into 7th place overall. Still remains third in the subclass though for juniors, but now up to 7th overall as Ash Barnes sets the fastest lap of the race out at the front. We've got a rider going very, very wide there as well. That looked like Huntingford, was it? Going wide round the Degner curve. Manages to get back in before the tyres flick out. I think it was. Soriak remains on at the back of this one. So now Huntingford has dropped away from the battle, I believe, for the final step on the senior podium. He's going to leave that one between Munson and Edwards to sort itself out. It says 2 laps at the top. The leader will come through in a moment. That will change to last lap in a matter of seconds. There we go. The leader is through and over the line. Ash Barnes once again setting the pace. The gap some 4 seconds now to the rest of the pack. Stevenson behind, still holding firm in 2nd place overall, holding off both Foster and Mounsey for 3rd overall. Foster well on his way to winning juniors, but he still has to hold off Mounsey for this final lap. That's the lead, that's the win in juniors. The 2 bikes at the back of the pack. There's a back marker in the way. Let's see whether this one's going to come into play. Back marker goes out wide, closes the door on our 2 front runners in the junior class. They managed to negotiate it fairly good though. Mounsey goes defensive, and down the inside goes Foster. What a move on the final lap. Reece Stevenson's still going to end up 2nd, but it's going to be an outright 2nd place, I think, for Mason Foster. Ash Barnes takes the victory. They come through to the line. Mason Foster 2nd, Sullivan Mounsey 3rd, Reece Stevenson gets 4th, but still 2nd in class. Samuel Munson steps on the podium in the seniors in 5th place. The final junior on the podium, Philip Soriak. What an unbelievable race it was at the end there. Mason Foster, not content with just winning in juniors, wanted 2nd place overall on circuit. And on the final couple of corners, dives down the inside of Reece Stevenson to take 2nd place overall and picks up the victory in our junior class. So Ash Barnes and Philip Soriak taking the final step of the podium in our junior class here for race 3 of the MiniGP 190.